Hi Banjo Pals, so it's time to take a good look at Cumberland Gap. It's a great tune, a classic Earl Scruggs tune, and it's a real place. I remember the first time I got to drive by it on I-40 and see the sign that said Cumberland Gap when I was driving east in Tennessee, and it was a big moment for me because I'd known this tune ever since I was a kid. So we're going to drill into Cumberland Gap. It has a lot of useful information in it. We're going to put that lick to use that's kind of our core lick that I gravitate to anytime I'm jumping up the neck to play a bluegrass solo. So here's a little bit of Cumberland Gap. Okay, so that is a great tune. It's full of great bluegrassy hooks. Again, when you're playing the A section of the tune, you're making sure that you've got your middle index and ring fingers held down in this kind of E minor position. And you're just reaching that pinky up to grab the 11th fret and 10th fret, 11th and 10th. Now, when Earl played it, instead of keeping his ring finger down on the first string at the 9th fret at the end of the phrase, which you could totally do, he actually lifts his finger up, so you get that D note instead of that B note. And it's actually kind of a hip sound, so a little bit different than the lick that we rehearsed. I noticed that as I read the tab, so all of you train spotters out there are going to notice that I kept my finger down the first time and then noticed it on the tablature the second time and made the correction. I think it's one that's worth doing. Like I said before, God is in the details with Earl Scruggs playing, and if you really look and take a deep dive into exactly how he's playing what he's playing, it's amazing what you'll find. So that little nuance is one that's worth capturing. And then on the A section, or the B section, the low part, the first half of it, great use of the hammer-on the 4th string. And that pluck gives you a nice little breath, forward roll. Another nice pluck that gives you a great breath. Then you've got a forward, backward roll. And then it repeats the first phrase. So that's the first half, and then there's a little twist on the second half that again is kind of like an example of God is in the details with Earl Scruggs is playing. So check this out. He goes, totally cool. Then you've got another forward roll, and then a forward roll that anticipates the next bar. So you go, and your downbeat is that E, and back to the hammer-on pattern. A really super cool phrase. I never would have thought of playing it that way, and it's really worth learning, I think. You know, when I was learning to play the banjo, my parents didn't want to invest in the Earl Scruggs banjo book, so a lot of what I learned was just, you know, from tablature that my teacher wrote. So getting to go back and revisit some of the ways that Earl played these tunes as I, you know, was getting the material prepared for you guys has been a great education for me. So that's another example of how when you teach, you actually get to learn too. So thank you for that. Let's take one more look at that second half of the B, just because it is so cool. Super cool. So this is a great tune, and we can actually listen to what it sounds like a little bit more up to speed with the backing track. I'll play along with it, and play along with me. Okay, super fun tune, super fun to play. So out of this you get not only a tune, but you also get a lick that you can use in a lot of different other contexts when you're playing up the neck. So have fun playing with Cumberland Gap, and then we'll be looking how we can take pieces of Cumberland Gap and repurpose them in some other tunes coming up in the next lessons.